Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my October book haul. Now I know this is going live before the wrap up, but I wanted to make sure I had time to finish all my books. Mainly because I've still kind of gained 30 books. But when you see the numbers on this, I haven't actually bought 30 books. I've only bought 22. I've somehow gifted 8 this month. And you're seeing Thomas in the background. All the joys. But this is the start of half term. I'm filming this on the 26th of June. You may well have Thomas or Mia in the background on the wrap up part 2. But it's half term. Who knows what it's like. They also want to have the living room to themselves. Mia and Chris have got the living room. Thomas and Chris have got the living room, so I'm filming in the dining room. Lovely, I love my picture out here, so thank God for Chris's selfie stick. So it means I can film nicely. So yes, I've gained 8 books. I've been gifted 8 books and I'm so grateful for all of them. I've bought 22. Bear in mind I had 2 book buying expeditions. One with Kat in London, which you would see in the vlog. I will link that vlog. I know I'm linking it on that everything. And then I had another one with Charlie, from my Charlie Book Reads for her birthday. She did buy books and I did buy her a lovely book, but I'll let her show you that when she does her book haul. But yeah, I think 22 books when you've got 2 book hauls included. I only bought 5 when I was out with Kat. It was Charlie that was dangerous. She made me buy 10. And I'll show you, when you get to that, I've actually separated them into book hauls for the 2. I've separated the 2 book hauls. Every other book is just sort of jingled in. But Charlie made me buy books. It wasn't my fault. Okay, it's not my fault. I have had a fair few doctors and hospital appointments this month. So I think that's kind of, Chris has bought me 2 books, which I'll show you. That kind of equates to why I've kind of gained a bit more. Technically, I'm filming this on 26th, and after I film this, there's going to be a couple of books added on to next month's TBR, because he's buying me a couple of other ones as treats, because he's lovely. But I better stop rambling, otherwise this video is going to be way too long. I will be honest, it doesn't look like I've bought any historical fiction this month. Kind of some historical fiction-y fantasy, which kind of, if that counts, but there's no real historical fiction because I've gone with mood reading, and that's a lot of those has been contemporaries and fantasy because that's my jam at the moment. Let's show you. So the first book I was gifted, which was an ad PR product. I've got 2 ad PR products, and this is one that I've already reviewed on Instagram, and that is New Leaves, Old Scars by Jennifer Druitt. This is my ad PR product. So I'm not going to do a paid advertisement. I'm not going to go on about it. It has been reviewed. It is on Goodreads and on Instagram. Did enjoy it, not quite as much as I wanted to, but it was good. It's got a disability rep in the fact it's got autism rep in it, and it's got, yeah, so it's got that. It's quite good. And then I've got one that I'm doing for next month. I'm reading over the course of November for Love Book Tours, and that is The Michaelmas Daisy by Paul Mariner. Again, I'll be reading it over the course of November, and there'll be a lot of posts on it. I believe this has got Alzheimer's rep in it, which could well break me and kill me. I know that I'm going to be emotional. I've read one book by this author, and I think it's going to be read very slowly over the course of November, so we'll be good. But ad PR products, I've always got to be honest. And then for the 2 books that Chris has bought me, I've got Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. That was my Waterstones pick for the month, but Chris technically bought it for me as a gift. It could be a gift and it could be me buying it, because obviously it came out of both our accounts, but you know. He just said I could have this as a treat because it was done after one of my appointments. I can't even remember which one. And this was my trip. I got this right at the start of the month. I remember feeling, oh yeah, this was after the hospital, the procedure scanny thing that was very nice. He let me buy this the next day, so this really is a gift from him. It's fantasy. It was recommended by the lovely guy at Waterstones, Jason, who's like, my Waterstones at Bracknell has the best staff ever. I'm not like paid to promote them, but God, it was brilliant. And this is Step into Starling House If You Dare. Opal is lots of things. Orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic. Most of all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother. One that gets them both out of Eden, a town renowned for bad luck. So when Opal gets a chance of earning a good wage at Starling House, Eden's very own Horton mansion, she can't resist. This looks really good, and I've heard rave reviews about this. It's on like when they're buying it at half price. I think it's got other doodahs on them, so it's been raved about. Then he got me, because I was trying to find the Heidi Swain book in all the supermarkets. I have got it. It will be one of my books that I got this. And could I find it anywhere? So we went to Sainsbury's because Sweet had a bit of a tough month this month, and she got rushed to the vets. And so after that, he decided to buy me this treat. This was A Merry Little Christmas. He saw this in Sainsbury's and he bought it for me because he was like, oh, you've got to have that. And it's the third in the series, so I'm rereading the series. This one won't be ready till January because I'm going to reread the first one in the series, second half of November, second one, December, and then this one will be read at the start of January. So I'm going to read them all close together. So I can't really tell you too much because it is about the third book in the series, but it is about Mary and Nell and babies and motherhood, and it continues the series, and I've loved the first two books in the series, so I can't wait to read this. So thank you, Chris. You're proper spoiling me. Then I had two anonymous Amazon gifts, one at the start of the month, one towards the end. And this first one I got home from work one day to find I had this one, which was this was my anonymous one, and this is The Happiest Ever After by Millie Johnson. It's a pink book. Alice would have laughed. It's a pink book, but it is a proper, it looks like it's going to be a real feel-good book. Polly Potter used to love her job until her new boss decided to make her life hell. She used to love her partner Chris until he cheated on her. My Chris would never be that daft, I hope. The only thing she truly loves now is the pages of a novel she's writing, where she has created a bolder version of herself as the fictional Sabrina Anderson. Disorientated after an accident, Polly ends up believing she really is Sabrina, living at the heart of a noisy Italian family restaurant by the sea, run by Teddy, the son of a new landlady, Mariella. In a much-loved place, facing threat of closure as a rival restaurant moves in next door, Sabrina can't really remember anything about her past, but she knows she's living a different life to the one she used to know. This looks really good. I'm so grateful for this gift. So I got this and two books from a subscriber, which I'll show you in a minute. Then I got, later in the month, one that I didn't expect. I didn't even see this come off my wish list. And this is To Enemies to Lovers by Laura Jane Williams. I've got a lot of her books. One of them I'm going to be rereading next year for the reread project. But this is her summer book. So it is going to be saved for next year because it looks summery, so it's got to be saved for next year. But one holiday, one rule, don't fall in love. Enemies to Lovers, I always think, is quite a fun trope. It's summery, so of course it will be saved for next year, but it does look gorgeous. I have loved a lot of this author's works. I can't remember which ones. I've loved like The Love Square, and oh my god, she's got another book coming next year. I've loved her books. So yeah, I've read I'll Stop, The Love Square, The Lucky Escape, One Night with You. I don't think I've read The Wrong Suitcase or Just for December. I've read Love Struck, so I've got to look for the Just for December. I'm kind of thinking maybe I might treat myself. I don't know. Anyway, this is like about Flo Greenberg, highly strung, overachiever, and desperate for the relaxing Greek holiday with her family. Jamie Craner, her brother's best friend, pain in the arse, and somehow on Flo's relaxing holiday too. So that just looks like Enemies to Lovers romance. Does look really good fun, but I'll be safe for next year. Like I said, I came home from work that day. I can't even remember whether it had been a busy day, sad day, whatever. But I got two books from the lovely subscriber called Lorraine. She is one of my lovely ones. I never ask for anything from you guys, but I'm always so grateful. And Lorraine put a lovely note in them. I don't remember if the note's in this one. And she put a little thank you for your videos. I look forward to them every week. Hope you haven't got these. So this is actually the last in the Trials of Apollo series, which I'm reading with a lovely cat. So it will be read soon. Thank you. You picked perfectly on this one, Lorraine. And this is It's Time to Face the Final Trial. I'm going to be sad. And it's about Apollo and Meg in the Manhattan, and they're facing the terrifying Nero, who's like a really scary one. Can Apollo find his godly form again? Will Meg be able to confront her troubled past? I've read the first two books. I've got the Burning Maze to read in November, and then December it'll be The Tyrant's Tomb, and then January it'll be finishing the series. So I'm well excited. And then she sent me another book that I've been really looking forward to, and this is Kirsten Hannah's Wild. It's one of her older books, I think, but I know Olivia read it this year, and Olivia loved it. And if Olivia loves something, I know I'm going to love it. But Kirsten Hannah's books are always amazing, and this one is a little thank you. And this one's another lovely book, and it's about, I think it's more of a contemporary, but it's set in Pacific Northwest of the United States, and it lies the National Forest. So it's going to be quite a wild, possibly naturey kind of book. Sorry about the noise. And apparently deep within the woodland, a 6-year-old girl appears. Speechless and alone, she offers no clues to her identity, no hints to her past. I'm really excited about this. I don't want to know too much, but it's Kristin Hannah. I know I'm going to love it. So that's kind of in my in-betweeny piles. I'm trying to tidy myself up. So those are the gifts. Thank you so much for the people who got me gifts. Thank you. I will thank Chris. I always thank Chris anyway. But now are the books that I did buy. And again, I'll show you when I get to the books with like the book, my friends' books. So the first one is the most recent book I bought just before I filmed this the other day. And this was the one I was looking for in all the supermarkets, because in the supermarkets it's normally a darn sight cheaper. But I couldn't find Home for Christmas by Heidi Swain anywhere, so I ended up paying nearly a tenner at Waterstones. Admittedly, it got my Waterstones points up, but the fact I was a bit peeved off that I looked everywhere for it and I couldn't find it. But it is Heidi Swain's latest book. I wanted to get it straight away because I'm going to be reading this in December. It's the next in the Wimbridge series. Oh, I love this series. But the lead character's called Bella. I know my niece is Belle, but Bella, so that's close. And she's in Wimbridge, and she's got I love it, they've got an animal, so she's got a beloved spaniel Tink. And she's been busy expanding her dream business and ecstatic that Christmas is on the horizon. Then family friend Catherine asks Bella if she'd be willing to rent part of the house to the author Jude, who's been researching the history of the Connolly can, who I've read about, I think. And Winthorpe Hall. I love these characters. Jude can't cope with the chaos at the hall, so Bella reluctantly agrees to open her home to him. Initially the pair clash, but when the friendlier feelings begin to grow, Bella finds herself wondering if Jude could be more than just a guest. Oh, they're so cute. Can't wait for that. I love Heidi Swain's books. She never disappoints. And she blew in. I mentioned that I hadn't been able to find it. She was like, lovely comment. And then she wrote a lovely comment when I did put it up and was like, oh, I hope you like it. No, I'm going to. I think she's kind of snuck her place as like my favourite author. So I'm going to be rereading some of her books next year as well. Then I've got some different foster care books as well. So some non-fiction books. One I'll be reading quite early on because I bought it from Bass Books and I know that these books sell really quickly. So I'm not reading it this month, but I'll read it next month or the one after. And her Kathy Glass books do destroy me, but I think they're hard to read, but they're good to read because obviously we used to foster and I find it quite interesting. And this is Mummy Told Me Not to Tell. Come on, Reese, I said. We're going home. I done well yesterday, didn't I, Kathy? But done bad today. My heart went out to him. 7-year-old Reese is the last of 6 siblings to be taken into foster care. He can't cope with school and is often excluded for his violent and aggressive outbursts. But behind that anger is a kind little boy with secrets too scared to tell. I know this is going to destroy me, but I will be reading it relatively soon. Then I got a book for Booktober, which I'll be reading in the next couple of days, so before this video goes live. And this is Mrs. Warren's Profession. It's on my TBR for my wrap-up part 1. So it's got appendixes. I believe it's actually only quite a short book. It's a short play. But God, there's loads of appendixes, which I don't tend to read those. So technically the book is only like, actual book is like about 100 odd pages, 102. It has got notes, so I'm not going to read the introduction. I'm not going to read any of this month. I might try and read it another time. So yeah, it is basically a play, and apparently it's a critically acclaimed one. So it's literally just about Invictober, I think. About the public performances, and it's an all-time controversial play of its time. Don't want to know too much. You'll hear about it in the next video, the wrap-up part 1. So I'm going to put that one to one side because I've got to read it. Then there was an offer on at my library. They were doing a library book sale, and I found this book for I think I did a donation. I can't even remember how much it was. But Casey Watson's another foster care books, and this is The Silent Witness. I've read one Casey Watson book. I think I've got 2. I can't remember if I've got another Heidi Swain or another one somewhere in this. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Casey, my link worker said. I know this is probably the worst time to ring you, but we're desperate for someone to take the child tonight. The night before Christmas, when Casey and Mike got the call, a 12-year-old girl stuck between a rock and a hard place. Her stepfather is on a ventilator fighting for her life, while her mother is currently on remand in prison. Despite her mother claiming she attacked him in self-defence, she's been charged with attempted murder. The girl is called Bella. It's another Bella. And she's refusing to say anything. The trouble is she was the only witness. So I think this one might destroy me as well. But it's foster care, and they're normally quite good. And I do think Casey Watson's writing's good. Then to a book that's connected in some ways. This is, I'm about to show you the London book haul, which you would have seen. I'm not going to go into too much detail on them because you would have seen in the London vlog. But for January, this book is saved. Again, I felt paid full price. Waterstones points have gone right up, but This is the third in this series. It's The Wedding Witch by Ellen Starling. So again, it's an ex-curse and kiss curse. I think I've spoken about this in my gratitude journal as well, but it's about Bowen Penhallow, who is one of the brothers, I think, in that series. It's reading in January, so it's a wedding to witness, a brooch to poach, and a house that's haunted as F. And Bowen Howen has always been a loner, but his friend, who happens to be a ghost, invites him to a Yuletide wedding in a Grand Welsh countryside estate, and Bowen agrees. Tamsin Blythe is not a witch, but she has managed to find an invite to the witchy wedding of the century, in the hopes of making the score of the century. One priceless magical artifact from Tyrrell House would set her up for life. This does look really good. I'm really excited. We're reading it in January. It's for me and Kat, so well excited. Then to the books that I got with Kat. Like I said, I won't go into too much detail because I have shown them on the book haul. The first one is Kat's Fault because it's Belladonna. It was the one she picked for me in one of the shops by Aladine Grace. This is the start of a series. I'm going to kill Kat for getting me on another series because then another book she blooming got to get was there. But she's halfway through it and read and liked it. I think my sister Charlie's read it. I know Chatty's read it and loved it. Your name is no curse, little bird. I just like the taste of it. Orphaned as a child, Sigma Farrow has been raised by a string of guardians, each more interested in her wealth than her well-being, and each has met a untimely end. Her only remaining relatives are the elusive Hawthorns, are an eccentric family living in Thorn Grove, an estate both glittering and gloomy. Does look really good. Fantasy, supposed to be really good. Supposed to be very much of a me book. Then to a historically fictiony fantasy, so I'm putting it in the fantasy area, and this is The Heroines by Laura Shepperton. I know Katie from Books and Things likes this author. It's set in Athens and about the royal family's marred by scandal. Phaedra, the young bride of King Theseus, has accused her stepson Hippocotus of rape. He's a prince and a talented horseman, a promising young man, and whose whole life is ahead of him. She is a naive and neglected wife, the youngest of a long line of Cretan women with less than savoury reputations. Kind of historical fiction, kind of fantasy, but it goes on my fantasy shelves. So I'm not sure what I count this as, but I know that I'm looking forward to it. One that I've been added to my November TBR because I managed to wait, but apparently according to all of you lot, on my November TBR, I've been told I've got to read this right at the start of the month. We're starting it on the 1st of November because I'm starting it with Kat. It's the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It's the season to fall in love. I've literally got the Cinnamon Book Doodah is the next one in the series. Apparently, if I like this, I'm going to, which apparently everyone's saying I'm going to. I've got to read that one. And then there's a Christmas book. So I may end up writing all of them. And then apparently there's another one coming out next year. So again, Kat, you've got a lot to answer for. That's the start of another blooming series. And apparently they all connect. Again, had to buy an Agatha for Alice. This is Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie. It's going to be right at the end of the Agatha along. Because it's one of Marple's last books, one of Agatha's last books in the Marple series, A Strange House and A Ghost from the Past. I believe this was one of Alice's favourites, so I had to get it, and it's been a beautiful copy. It's Marple. Apparently, I'm going to love it. That's my classic book, so that's going there. Then the last but not least on the one that I bought from there, and this is Anybody Out There by Marion Keyes. It was the next in the series that I needed for the Marion Keyes book. And it's a beautiful copy. I bought this full price. And this is Anna Walsh, and she's living in the front room covered by Dublin, and it's about Anna's story. She's one of those Walsh siblings. Don't want to know too much, but I do know that it looks beautiful, and I've got the matching copy. Sneaky peek, in November you'll see another book in the series that I kind of bought. But I haven't paid for it yet, so that's why it's going on November's book haul. And then the next one was the next one in that series. And I know it doesn't match, so if I get a copy that matches the ones that I've got already, then I'll give this one away and then get it. But it means I am ready for next year, so I wanted to have that one. And this is The Mystery of Mercy Close. And this is about Helen Walsh. I don't know much about her. Who doesn't believe in fear. It's just the things that are invented by men to get all the money and good jobs. Yet she herself is sinking. Her life as a private investigator has dried up. And her flat has been repossessed. Don't want to know too much, and apparently she's got a dodgy boyfriend, Jay Parker. The missing person is Wayne Diffney. I don't know too much about this, but it's the next in the series. I'm just realising now that I'm going to have to move my books around. But yeah, that was the next one that I read that I needed after Anybody Out There. And then I've kind of bought Rachel again, ready in November, that you'll see that'll go in December. Bought it, they'll go in November's book haul. And then all I need then is her latest book that's come out this year. And then I've got all of them because I'm starting them in January. That's logical, it's not too bad. I've got series books. And then we're down to Leanne. I'm blaming Leanne for Leanne Rose. So then I bought for 20p at the local charity shop near me. I bought the Thursday Murder Club ages ago. And I found this for 20p in my local charity shop. And this is The Man Who Died Twice. It's the second in the Thursday Murder Club. Apparently it's like a cosy mystery. So it's not like a thriller. It's a cosy mystery, sounds really good. And yeah, don't want to know any more than that. It's like cozy mystery. I'm going to be reading that. That's at the start of another series for 2025. Then to another book that I had to get in the series. Chris Was Lovely, and I ordered this online because I've tried everywhere to find it cheap, and I finally found it not too expensive. Things We Hide from the Light, because I've got the third in the series and I've read the first this year, so this will be read next year. That means I've got 2 Lucy Score series to read next year. But I loved Things We Never Got Over. I needed the second, so I did order this online. This is about Police Chief Nash Morgan, who's known for 2 things: being a good guy and the way he wears his uniform. It accentuates his wear. Oh, got to think about men with good, gorgeous bum mums. So 2 bullets put a dent in his southern charm, and now he's facing a criminal still on the loose in a town full of citizens that consider the law more as a guideline. And then he's got the last thing he needs is leggy, smart mouth Lena Solata moving in next door, making him feel things he doesn't have the energy to feel. I'm well excited about this because I loved the first book, so I can't wait to read that. Then I've got another fantasy, and these are the start of the books. The rest of these are the ones that I bought when I was with Charlie. I'll tell you which ones are Charlie inspired when you get to them, but I'm guessing you'll kind of guess. So the first one is The Way Past Winter by Kieran Mildy Hargreaves. It was on my Amazon wish list, and I found it for like a squiddling or 2. So not bad. It is Kieran Mildy Hargreaves, middle grade. It will be read in the winter months. So sneaky peek, this is going on to my winter books. So it can either be read in January or February, I'm not sure yet. But about Mila, who wakes up to finding her brother Oscar is gone. A dark clue suggests a stranger has visited them in the night. And then she learns that all the boys in the village have vanished, except for one, a boy named Rune. This looks well good. Then my other Agatha book, A Body in the Library. Again, it matches my copies. It's not quite as pretty as the other one, but this is it. And this is, I think, this is another Marple. The Body in the Library, I can't remember where we put it on the list. I think this is relatively near at the front. I can't remember where it is on my list, but apparently it's a good one. I think this is one of the first ones, so it's been jumped up to January, I think. And it's a Marple, and it's been one of her earlier ones, so you don't have to read the Marple ones in order. But where this is one of the earlier ones, we'll bump this up right off the list. Just a sneaky peek, by the way. We have decided I wasn't going to do any rereads for the Agatha along, but I was speaking to my gorgeous sister Charlie, and we decided that I've been thinking about Alice a lot this month, because today, the day that I'm filming this, they're all going to a York meetup, and it's the first meetup they've gone to without Alice, and I'm not going, and unfortunately I couldn't go because of time off. But I've been thinking about her a lot this month, and we decided that in honour of her, on her birthday month in June, I'm going to be rereading 5 Little Pigs, because that was her favourite book, her favourite Agatha. So we're going to, and it was also mine. So we're going to reread that in June for her, in honour of her. So yeah, soppy stuff. The next book is a book, on the next soppy note, the next book is a book that Charlie inspired, because she's like me, we're into witchy, vampire-y kind of books at the moment. And this is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. Apparently this is like the first in a duology. I don't know if it's a series that's going to carry on. Cassie Greenberg needs a new place to live, and fast. When she finds an affordable apartment in a beautiful neighbourhood, she knows there must be a catch. Of course, her roommate, Frederick J. Fitzwilliam, is far from normal. He sleeps all day and is out at night on business, and he talks like he walked out of a Regency romance. Yes, the vampire twist. It does look really good fun. That was one of the ones that Charlie Maybe Buy. Next one is an obvious Charlie Maybe Buy. Unsettled Ground by Claire Fuller. It won the Costa Book Awards in 2021. It's been spoken about quite a lot on BookTube. Family, I've not read any Claire Fuller, I don't think, and it's like a family saga kind of thing about Genius and Julius, who've always been different from each other. At 51 years old, the twins still live with their mother Dot in an isolated ramshackle cottage, making music and growing, and sometimes killing everything they need for sustenance. This does look really good. But yeah, that was an obvious Charlie one, excuse me. Then not a Charlie one, but a Joe Thomas, who you know is a new contemporary author to me, but one that I really love. Celebrations for the Chateau. This will probably be on my winter list. It's a Christmassy, wintry kind of book. Joe Thomas, I don't need to know much more than that. It's about a French chateau. And after her grandfather dies, Fliss and her sisters are astonished to inherit a French chateau. I probably said that wrong. Travelling to Normandy to visit a beautiful, if not faded house, they've excitingly made plans over delicious crepes and local cider in the town nearby. And they soon discover that the chateau needs major work and a big, huge tax bill is due. And there's a sitting tenant who to whom they owe a monthly allowance. Okay, but does look good. And to another author that I know I like, and that is Julie Shackland. And this one, I don't know when I'm going to be reading this. And this is a Scottish Highland Getaway. I did like the bookshop on by the lock. And this is about, since being jilted on a wedding day, the florist Bailey MacArthur is mending her broken heart to the pretty hometown of Heather Moore. With journalist Zach Stern arrives in town and asking questions about a famous actor, Bailey feels a sense of protectiveness. She's not the only one trying to hide away from her past. That's good, romantic kind of thing. Then to a book that I'm saving for next summer, because it is The Second Chance Summer by Philippa Ashley. Found this in Oxfam in Wokingham, and it's sprayed edges, and I think it was like only £1. And that's for save for next summer because it's a new release and it's sprayed edges, so for £1 it's well good money. And the last place she expects to find love, but there's the first time for everything. So the moment Lily Harper arrives on a remote retreat in breathtaking Isles of Sicily, or I said that wrong. She's itching to get back to civilization and her thriving business. Slowing down isn't in her vocabulary, so when she quickly clashes with gorgeous but dour Sam, who runs the retreat. Just as Lily is about to give up and leave, disaster strikes and she's involved in an incident that changes her perspective on everything. That's really good. Then to a total Charlie book. The next two books are Charlie books. The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. It has been all over BookTube over the years. It is flipping massive. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but she made me buy it. We did see it in a few charity shops. So the one I got it then, it was probably one of the cheaper times. So she was like, you have to have it. It was one of her favourite books of last year, I think. And quite a few people I know have loved it. It's about the Barnes family. So it's a family thing, saga. I believe it's Irish fiction. It was a winner of the Irish Book Awards in 2023. It was shortlisted for the Writers' Prize Award in fiction in 2024. I think it did really well quite over BookTube. I know it's going to destroy me, but it was Charlie's fault, so I blame her. Then last but not least, another book which I've just realised I've got one of the stickers that's not come off it yet. And this one is down to bloody Olivia. Technically it's Charlie because Charlie maybe get it. I'm trying to take the sticker off because I don't like stickers on books. I don't know why blooming charity shops do this. They put stickers on everything. But I'll take the sticker off in a minute. It is the Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Now we all know that, I'm going to take it out of the picture. We all know that it was this is bloody Olivia. It was one of Olivia's favourite books. Olivia loves this author. Now apparently she didn't like the sequel. I just watched one of her wrap-ups. She didn't like the sequel as much as she liked this. But this is Sapphic Romance. It's American. It is the Boyfriend Material. It is about Luke O'Donnell. Is tangibly the most reluctantly famous. His rock-style parents split up when he was young, and his father he never met spent 20 years cruising in and out of rehab. Now that Dad's making a comeback, Luke's back in the public eye, and one compromising photo is enough to ruin everything. Fake boyfriend, that kind of thing. Does look really good. Again, this is a mixture of Charlie's fault and Olivia's. So both their channels will be linked down below. So, yes, I know it was contemporary all over. I've got more contemporaries than I can shake my finger at. But as you can tell, with all the hospital appointments this year and the doctor's appointments, I've had like 2 asthma appointments, another gynae. I've had 2 gynae, 2 asthma. And yeah, it's been challenging. And Sweet being poorly as well. Other stuff going on. Grief, it was the anniversary of my dad's death this month. And that grief was obviously introduced stuff with that Missing Alice, and yeah, I think I've emotionally been wrung out, so my books have helped. Thank you for all of you that have sent messages when I put posts up. I don't always share it all. I am doing a book about disability and living it out in winter because I know potentially that's going to be coming up. I've got a lot of health stuff coming up with the winter. I know that potentially it's going to set it off. Thank you all for your support. I really am grateful. If you got to the end of this video, easy emoji, just do a shopping bag emoji if you got to the end. Let me know which books you think I should prioritise. You know some of them that are getting prioritised anyway. Let me know if there's any books you want to buddy read, and let me know what you've been buying. I'd love to hear about what you've also been getting. Thank you all. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.